right click this link, you'll find the Ohio legislature site. From here, you can put your name, your address, or not your name, your address, and select if you want to identify your Senate member or your House member of your area. You can also create an Ohio legislature account. This way that you can actually identify which bills you want to track. So I have an account and I'm tracking Senate Bill 182 as well as House Bill 315. This is particularly useful if there are documents that come up throughout this legislative process that get added. If you want to see where the bill is moving, what committee it's assigned to, when it's assigned to committee, potentially if that changes, all of that can be found there. So levels of engagement. Of course, as we know, email is the fastest and usually the most convenient way to contact your legislator, making sure that you're putting them on your radar, identifying who you are and that you're a constituent. These are important features of your email to your legislator. A phone call, and a phone call is particularly important because office staff capture that information and pass that message along to their legislator. That legislator. So make sure you're clearly stating your name, where you live, mention that you're a constituent, and discuss the issue of concern. So of course, this is Ohio's bloated and broken bail system. And I will pass it to Colin to talk about stakeholder letters and meetings.
Yeah, thank you, Mel. So yeah, for requesting and speaking with your legislator, definitely writing letters and requesting personal meetings are the biggest and most demanding levels of engagement. However, stakeholder letters, when I was working in the state Senate, when we would get pieces of mail from constituents and we would open it up and we would see, these, 2, 3, 4 page long letters written by a constituent, that was something that we immediately, focused on and isolated for the senator. Typically, I would, as the aide, I would read it first and then I would, give it to the senator and he would read it as well. And these are good, this is a good way to, engage your lawmaker. If maybe you're still feeling a little uneasy or a little uncomfortable about having like a give and take situation that a personal meeting may have, where a letter, you can be more thorough. It's a long form type of communication. So you can really spell out why you're so passionate on a given issue. And, typically, at least in the office I worked at, if a constituent took the time to write our office a letter, we took the time to write a letter in response back. And, it might be something as, thank you for contacting us. We are looking into what the issue that you're raising here. Or if we are supportive of it, we would, go into that list, we are supportive of that, list the reasons why, thank them for contacting us. So I think a stakeholder letter is a great way for somebody to get involved, contacting their representative or their state senator, and just kind of, it's a higher bar of engagement. And the biggest and highest bar of engagement is actually requesting the meetings that we're here practicing for. And I would actually break the meeting request down into 2 tiers. The one is doing a meeting at the State House, which, as we know, during Gary's portion of the program today, is going to be more on like your Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. But we know people work and they can't make it to the State House in the middle of the week. They got stuff going on. So what we, another avenue for folks to have a meeting with their legislator is actually in the district on the weekends or on a Monday or a Friday when the lawmaker is typically not in Columbus. And, again, from my time in the state Senate, my boss had a lot of in-district meetings, and those were very important meetings for the senator. I mean, he is meeting with his constituents at home, on a singular issue, and there's no out. They are in this meeting with you. There's no aide coming in being like, we got to go to this meeting. There's no committee going on to where they've got to leave. They are sitting at a table in front of you for an hour, uninterrupted. So, we, as the aide, we would prepare the state senator for what the meeting was going to be on. They'd be more knowledgeable on the issue. And it's just a better way for you to have a captive audience. And I also wanted to make one last note is when we talk about people power, having a meeting in the district really levels the playing field in terms of the power dynamic between the lawmaker and you, because you're both in common ground. You're not intimidated by the state house. You're in your neighborhood or your community speaking with your lawmaker on the issues that matter. And, you know, they are in that space with you. So if you are, I would highly recommend, if you really want to make an impact and a strong case for supporting bail reform or the death penalty repeal, and if you're comfortable with it, I highly recommend requesting a meeting in person. And if you're comfortable with it, in the district. I just think it has a different feel to it than a state house meeting. It's more personal, it's more local, and I think it would make your lawmaker really be on their P's and Q's during the meeting, and take you seriously as a constituent who's paying attention, who wants a change, and is willing to act on that. So with that, that's it for the communicating to your lawmaker.